Hey there, everyone. Anna here. How are you? I hope everyone is well today. Well, healthy, safe, all of those things. That is the goal. That's really our goal on an everyday basis right now. Today is making sure that we are safe and healthy. Those are the utmost goals every single day. So I'm so happy to come on with you today because I thought it would be helpful to talk about guided readers and what guided readers can offer you as a parent that's at home right now teaching your own child. So in addition to being a parent full-time with your children at home, cooking all the meals, cleaning up all the meals, and probably trying to work from home as well, you're now adding teacher onto your resume, which in my opinion just adds a level of stress to your home life that is probably really, really difficult to handle. So I'm here today because I want to share a couple of tips for at-home learning, and I want to talk to you about what is the most important thing. I have my window open because it's so warm in my office, and the birds are chirping so loudly, which is such a nice sound, but it's so loud I can't function. Hi, everybody. Please say hello in the comments. I would love to know who's here, and I would love to say hello to you. Let me know where you're calling in from. Let me just shut this window. Sorry, those birds were super loud. Okay, so hi, Regina. Hey, Lori, how are you? Good to see you guys. So, like I said, I wanted to come on today. I really wanted to come on really for parents, really working on the parents' perspective today in this time that we find ourselves in right now. Hey there, Tammy. Hey, Teresa. How are you? Hi, Tanzania. So good to see you guys. Hi, Connie from Whippany, New Jersey. New Jersey is our New York neighbor. So it's so good to see all of you here. Thank you so much for coming on. So really, I came on today because I wanted to give a few tips and tricks for parents that are home with their children that have now become teacher in addition to all of the other things. And I have to tell you, I've been talking to teachers for years because I help teachers. I provide curriculum resources and professional development for teachers. And I have a huge Facebook group with hundreds and hundreds, actually thousands, over 20,000 teachers in it. So I know that the stress and the overwhelm they're feeling as teachers because they want to be with their kids and their students and they can't. And they're learning and navigating this online world. So I can tell you from the teacher's perspective, they're doing everything they can to reach your children and to make sure that they keep learning. And it's so heartwarming to see teachers just doing whatever they can to make sure that they're helping your children that are at home right now. So I just want to give them a pat on the back because I can't even imagine what that's like. Yet on the other side of the coin, you have parents. You're at home with your children. So not only are you probably trying to work from home or looking for a new job at home because clearly the unemployment rate has skyrocketed. So you're probably either working from home or looking for a job from home, or you're on the front lines like my husband's. My husband's a firefighter. So when he does work, he works 24-hour shifts. So when he does, he's on the front lines. So, and then comes home and then stays in quarantine because I'm a severe asthmatic and I don't want him, if he comes home sick, he could get me really sick or our kids really sick. And then we have a whole other situation on our hand. So we're dealing with so many things here in New York, and I'm dealing with so many things in my own home. And then I can't even imagine having to deal with all that and then having young children at home that you now have to teach because you've become their teacher. So my hat is off to all of you parents at home trying to juggle everything you've got going on right now, because I'm lucky that my kids are older. They actually just turned 19 last week. So, they're in college now. So now they're, remotely working on their college work. But the thought of having a first, a second grader, or a third grader at home and having to teach them every day to me is, in addition to all the other things, because I cook and clean all day. So I just can't even fathom it. So I wanted to come on today really for parents and talk to you about a couple of things you could do for at-home learning that will hopefully ease the stress that that you're dealing with. It's not going to ease all of it, that I can promise you, but maybe just give you some tips and tricks about how you can handle this at-home learning situation and tell you what you should be working on when you're at home. So first, let me talk about what is happening now. So from what I've heard and what I've seen, so many school districts and teachers are providing at-home packets, and they're working through packets, or they're assigning activities through Google Classroom or through Seesaw or through another learning platform. And they're giving them different activity. They're giving your children different activities to do. And all of those things are wonderful. That is great. But I also want you to know that what's important to understand is that the reason why teachers can handle 20 and 30 children in a classroom at one time and not, well, lose their minds, but not always, is due to the consistency of their day. Consistency, trust me when I tell you, consistency is a teacher's best friend in the classroom. And that's why chaos doesn't ensue with 20 or 30, 7 and 8 year olds. Chaos doesn't ensue because there's a very consistent, structured plan to the day and a structured and consistent plan with what teachers expect. So if you're at home with your child and you're having some, you're knocking heads, it's that happens for most parents at home. But if it is happening for you, I want to share 3 tips that I talked about yesterday that I want to share again. And then I'm also going to talk about what you should really focus on at home. So the 3 tips that I shared the other day when I went live that I want to just reiterate is the first tip is set a desired learning time. What I mean by that is if you have a kindergartner through a 3rd grader, you need to have set periods of time that you're working. A kindergartner should only be doing about an hour of work per day, not all at one time. I call them learning labs. You should do 15-minute learning labs with your child at home. Maybe there's 15 minutes of reading, and then they take a brain break and they go play outside, or they go play a game, or they play a video game, whatever to let them decompress. Go get a snack. Then do another 15-minute learning lab, and then have them do some type of a math activity. Do 15 minutes. Then they take another break. That gives you an opportunity to go do the 900 other things you have to be doing at home. Do another 15-minute learning lab. Maybe it's a writing activity, or you're having them write a story, or they're writing a paragraph, or they're writing in response to their reading. So you can do that for another 15-minute learning lab. So what's important is that if you have a kindergartner, they should only be doing about an hour's worth of work every day, and not in one period of time. Because if you expect your 5 or 6 year old to sit for 1 hour periods, the horns are going to lock. That I could promise you. But if you try to create somewhat of a flexible schedule, depending on when your child wakes up and depending on your work schedule or your home schedule, this will make it really consistent. And your child, as they get comfortable with the consistency of this plan, that's clearly going to keep going for months and months and months, it will help you not to lock horns anymore. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for all children, because all children are different. All children have different learning needs. All children have different abilities. But I can tell you the most important thing to do that I have found in my 23 years of teaching is give them the consistency and the structure that they need in order to progress and in order to work successfully. So a kindergartner should only be doing about an hour of work per day. A 1st grader should be doing about an hour to an hour and 15 to an hour and a half of work per day. A 2nd grader, an hour and a half to maybe an hour and 45 minutes, even pushing 2 hours. I wouldn't really push 2 hours for a 2nd grader either. Again, not in one time block. It needs to be broken up into 15 to 20-minute learning labs, you can call them. And then a 3rd grader should be doing about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours of work per day. And 4th and 5th graders, they may be doing a little bit more, but it kind of depends on the type of activities that they're assigning. So my first tip was have a very specific time allocation for your day and make it a flexible schedule where your children could have breaks in between. That's tip number 1. Again, I call them like learning labs, 15-minute learning labs. Tip number 2 is pick a very specific location in your home that your child works at every day, whether it be the kitchen table or a dining room table or a coffee table or their bedroom or their desk. Make it consistent, because when your child sits in that place every day, it kind of signals their brain that, okay, this is consistent every day. This is what I do when I'm in this spot. I know it seems so simplistic, but I promise you, when your child is consistent with where they're working every single day, it will create the consistency, not only in their schedule, but in them understanding, okay, this is work time. This is where I sit down to do my work. I know it's simplistic, but trust me, the brain is a very complex thing, and creating that consistency in where they do their work every day will be so important for you and for your child, and to not lock horns, I promise. The third tip I have for you is to be realistic. Be realistic with what your goals are and your expectations are. These are uncharted waters for everyone. Being home with young children, trying to work, cook all of the meals, figure out how you're going to get to the supermarket without catching a virus with gloves and masks. I mean, really, it's like we're in an alternate universe. So there's so much on our plates and in our heads and on our hearts and in our minds, the stress of either being unemployed or looking for employment, or trying to sign up for unemployment, or keeping your business afloat like I'm trying to do. All of these things add such a level of stress to our lives. So I want your goals to be realistic goals and expectations. If you try to put too much emphasis on what your child does every day and lock horns with them, it's going to create even more stress and more anxiety in your home. And you don't want to do that. And you don't want that, because it's going to create more stress for you. So just be realistic with what you're expecting from your child. Your child, while in school for 6 hours, yes, they're not sitting and learning for 6 straight hours. No way. They're doing learning periods, right? They're doing a reading period, and then maybe they have snack, and then maybe they go to music, and then they come back, and then maybe they do math, and they're moving around their classroom while they're doing math. Maybe they're doing stations or literacy stations or learning stations. So it's important to understand that this home environment is so different. So our expectations and goals need to be realistic for these kids and for you, so you don't lose your sanity, because I know how difficult it's got to be at home. I mean, I'm having difficulty because of all of the things going on in my own life, in my own home. My husband being a frontline worker, he's a firefighter and an EMT. So he's doing that. Then he comes home and then he goes into quarantine. I'm cooking 3 meals a day and then cleaning the kitchen. Cooking for, even though the boys are 19, what's for dinner, mom? What are you cooking? Cooking for them, making sure that they're doing their work, trying to keep the house afloat, and continue trying to build my business and work on my business to keep my employees working. So we've all got it. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted you to know you're not alone. I get what you're going through, but I want your expectations to be realistic for your children, because it will really help you kind of take down that stress level that you're like, oh my gosh, I now have to teach my kid. So I get it. So make some realistic expectations. The second thing I wanted to talk about today is what you need to focus on. Now, as I said, your teachers are probably giving you work, whether it be in Google Classroom or whether it be in Seesaw or it's on a video. Clearly, school districts are providing some type of work for your children at home. I mean, I would assume most districts are. So that's great. But like I said, split it up into learning labs, not a whole 1 hour, 1.5 hours straight. It's just not going to work. So the other thing I wanted to say is the most important thing you can do for your child at home that's between kindergarten and 3rd grade, I promise you, is read. Read, and then read some more. Because what I have found over my 23 years in education is if your child struggles in reading or doesn't progress in reading, everything else they'll struggle in everything else. So doing a science activity or doing a social studies activity or doing a math activity. Yes, math is important. They absolutely need math. But without reading, nothing else can occur. So if I were a parent at home with a kindergartner through third grader, I would ensure that almost half of their learning time throughout the day was spent on reading, sight words, which is part of reading, some type of a phonics activity, because with phonics comes the understanding of how letters make sounds and sounds make words. They're called phonemes, and those phonemes blended together make a word. So understanding phonics and working on phonics helps them to become better readers, reading and comprehending what they need, and then writing, doing some type of response to what they're reading. That's what 90% of your time or your child's learning time should be spent on every day. And I can promise you, if your child does this every day, 5 days a week, while they're home with you, I can assure you that they will not fall behind the curve when they get back to school in September. God willing, that happens. I mean, I shouldn't even say that. They will not fall behind the curve if they are reading every day. That I can assure you of. And the reason why I know that is because I've done it for 23 years of my life. Reading was of the utmost importance in my classroom. Reading trumped everything. Math was a very, very high second, but reading trumped everything. And that was the reason why my students always left me reading on or above grade level every single solitary year like clockwork. It was because I know that without reading, nothing else matters. So if you're at home with your child and you're struggling and there's just too much on your plate, trust me, read every day with your child, ask them questions every day, have them write a couple of sentences, of course, depending on what grade level they're in, about the story. And that will keep them above the curve. That will keep and ensure that they're still learning and they're still progressing and they don't fall way behind. Because did you know that children over a 2-month summer that don't read can regress 6 months in their reading progress? Did you know that? A 2-month summer of no reading can create a 6-month regression in their reading. That's an accurate statement. So now that we're home and we're learning at home and we've got most of March, right? Most of March, April, May, June, July, August, we're looking at 6 months. 6 months. That could create a year lag in your child's reading. That's why I'm telling you that reading is the most important thing they should be doing every day. Now, with that being said, it's so scary. Oh, hey, Sarah, it's so scary. But and because parents aren't teachers, they don't realize that. They don't realize that when our children come in, like when my students came in September and they left reading, at a specific level in first grade and they came to me in second grade, they were very, very, very rarely at that level. They usually regressed by 1 to even 4 levels in reading when they came to me in September over a 2-month summer. So now we have a 6-month lag of possibly no school. We need to keep our kids reading. So what I have done, now I've been helping teachers for the last 9 years. I've been writing curriculum and helping school districts and helping teachers with their curriculum for the last 9 years. When I started to see what was happening, I was like, oh boy, we've got a situation on our hands, and parents that aren't teachers are going to feel like they're failing their child. And I never want you to feel that way, because really what your child needs is love and safety. But the third thing they need is reading, because without it, you'll see this drop in what their ability levels will be in reading. And you don't want that, trust me. So whatever grade your child is in, from kindergarten through third grade, please keep them reading every day. Even our 4th and 5th graders, same thing for them as well. But my focus has always been, around K4. So what I did was I created a site called Guided Readers. It's at-home reading instruction for your child. But I made it super easy for parents because we don't have the time, honestly, or the energy to sit there and teach our children. Not only that, but you have the locking of the horns, because that used to happen to me when I worked with my own children at home. So guided readers it's just for parents. Our parent site is parents.guidedreaders.com. And we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leveled books. As a matter of fact, let me share my screen with you so you could see. This is what Guided Readers looks like. And basically what happens in Guided Readers is your children, if you do join Guided Readers, your children has a bookshelf of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books for them to read. Now, we could talk about reading levels in a second, but I just want to show you basically what your child will get. Let's say you have a first grader at home, give or take, okay? On Guided Readers, your child inside of Guided Readers has a digital bookshelf. They can listen to the stories being read. So
Elena's bracelet.
So they can read the story, or they can listen to the story. Again, this is a first grade reader, so it's a lower level. Not only that, but I'll show you in the other, when the children log in, they can also record themselves reading. But really what the most important thing is we want to ensure that our children keep going with their learning like they would be doing in their classrooms. And most parents don't really know how to do that. So I wanted to show you what we've provided inside of Guided Readers so you can see exactly the lessons that your child will take part in that you don't even have to help them with. Because the teacher directions, the teacher-led instruction is included. So let's say, for example, your child is going to read this particular story called A Seashell Surprise. So if they go and they read it, and either they want to listen to the book or they want to read it on their own. But again, just so you can see, the words are highlighted.
A little octopus crawled over the sand. There was so much to see.
As you can see, the words are highlighted in yellow. That really helps with our youngest learners because it will not only help them with hearing fluent reading and intonation in reading, but it's going to help them with decoding. It's going to help them with fluency. It's going to help them match letters and sounds, which are phonemes, to printed letters and words. And those two combinations together create a good contextual reader. And that's what we want. We want our children and our students to be contextual readers. So if they want to read the story to themselves, they can do that, or they can listen to the story. And of course, I'll show you the recording in a second. But here's where the teaching comes in. We want our kids to keep learning the skills and strategies they were doing in school. So what we've done at Guided Readers for parents is we've ensured that teacher-led directions continues to happen. So on the Google Slides that we give you access to, we provide the teacher-led directions, and we provide all of the audios for your child to work independently. So this particular page right here that you're seeing is sight word practice. Now, understand, sight words are words children need to know by sight. They need to know them by sight. They're not typically words that you can decode or sound out typically. They're words that they have to know by sight. If your child learns the first 100 sight words, they would be able to read up to 75% of any book they read. Let that sink in for a second. If your child knows the first 100 sight words, they would be able to read up to 75% of any book they read. Let that sink in. That's why understanding and learning sight words is an important skill. So we have sight words in here. The next thing, this particular level, so this is a level I book. So this is a make it and break it activity. This is a syllabication activity. Syllabication helps children learn how to decode words and blend phonemes together. So when they see these words in their reading, they understand how to break them apart to then put them together in order to read them. That's the whole purpose of this activity. This activity is a phonics activity where they're going to match phonemes, vowel sounds, blends, all different skills that we're going to provide for them. This particular slide is about learning vocabulary words from the book that they just read. And then we also have question stems, where our students are writing the answers here. So that's how you're connecting the reading and the writing. That's what's so important here. They connect what they're reading to writing so those skills stay strong and fresh. Now this, like I said, was like a level I book. If we go down to an easier book, like a kindergarten level book, and you look at the Google Slides for, say, a kindergarten level book, you're going to see another type of activity. So you'll see this, you make a copy of the Google Slides, you can open it on your tablet, your Chromebook, your laptop, your computer, your desktop, it doesn't matter. This activity, again, you continue with sight words, learning those sight words, practicing building the sight words, typing the sight words, and looking at the sight words and identifying them by sight. That's the goal, right? This activity here is a sorting activity. This one is sorting medial vowel sounds. This is what I'm talking about that phonics piece that your children get in school, where they have to understand that phonemes are sounds, and sounds make words, and words make sentences, and sentences make stories. That's how this is all interconnected. So with this particular activity, we want our children understanding those medial vowel sounds. It helps when they go to read that they'll understand how to decode and then be able to read more fluently. That's the goal of these activities. This is a making words activity where the students are going to have audio teacher-led directions to make words based on a specific phonics pattern. All of these skills and strategies that your children will be doing at home is exactly what they're doing in school every day when their teacher is doing reading instruction. They're absolutely working on sight words. They're absolutely working on phonics. They are absolutely working on reading stories every day and asking text-dependent questions, which is on this page, because that connects the comprehension to the story. And then we include the writing, where they can type their answers here in these boxes to answer the questions. These are the text-dependent questions your child will answer that will then help them with the comprehension of the story. So you're working on the 4 main areas of reading every single day. They're working on sight words, they're working on phonics, they're working on reading and comprehension, and then the writing piece of it is answering those text-dependent questions that allow them to comprehend the text more readily. So that's what we want our students, our children doing every single solitary day. And Guided Readers provides that instruction for your child. Now, we also provide, just so you know, a parent guide. And on this parent guide, you could download it. It gives you the directions that you can do with your child. But here's the ticket. If you want to, if you don't want to teach your child or work with them during the lesson, you don't have to. That's why we have all of the audio pieces involved in the Google Slides, because then you don't have to teach them. We'll take care of it for you. And that's our goal with our Guided Readers for at-home learning. So we really, really hope you'll check it out. And what I wanted to do is I want to quickly just log out and show you what it looks like from a child's perspective. So I just did my own son's name. Clearly, he's not reading in kindergarten. But I just want you to see what it looks like from the child's perspective. So if they click read, they can listen to the story as I showed you.
A new home for Lynn.
Or they can record the story and listen back. Let me show you how cool this is. They click record like this, and then they record the whole story. Watch. Harry Hedgehog is known for being a busy and tidy animal. Every day, Harry curls up into a ball and rolls around his den. So let's just make believe your child finished reading the whole book. They click upload my recording, and now your child can listen back to their reading. Watch. Harry Hedgehog is known for being a busy and tidy animal. This skill alone of recording their fluid reading and their intonation in their reading and listening back, the learning that's involved in those skills is unprecedented. These are the types of skills that your children need to focus on each and every day to continue that reading process every single day. And like I said, this is what teachers are doing every day. They're working on sight words. They're working on phonics. They're reading every day with your child and working on comprehension. And then, of course, they're connecting the writing to the reading. That's an important connection because children are asked to respond to their reading every single day, even as young as kindergartners. Even kindergartners that come in to kindergarten, they're responding to stories that their teacher reads to them, whether it be drawing a picture of their favorite part. That's responding in kindergarten. In third grade, it might be provide 3 sentences about or retelling of the story, beginning, middle, and end, or using a structure of somebody wanted but so then. That's a structure of how they can summarize a story. But we're talking about responding to stories, responding to books, whether it be fiction or nonfiction, because we provide both inside of Guided Readers. Not only do we have fiction stories, but we also have incredible expository texts, because we want them to have experience with all types of reading. So this is just an example of our Spiders nonfiction book. As you can see, they're dealing with nonfiction text features and diagrams. These are the types of things your child would be doing at school. This is what your child would be doing at school. And now they can do it at home with teacher-led directions, on these Google Slides. Everything in here is teacher-led. So that allows you, the parent, not to be your child's teacher. Leave it to us. Let us do it for you. You know why? This was created by me. This was created by me. I was a second grade teacher for 23 years. And again, my children left my classroom reading at or above grade level every single solitary year. And it was because I put such a heavy emphasis on reading. And to be honest with you, being at home right now with your child, that's what your emphasis should be. Because I promise you, if they regress in reading and then they go back to school in September, the amount of time it's going to take for them to make up what they lost will be detrimental to their learning. And that's what we don't want to happen. And that was why we took Guided Readers, because Guided Readers was just been for the at-school market. We've been selling this to school districts around the globe. We're now in South Africa as well. I mean, it's incredible. Guided Readers is around the United States being utilized in thousands and thousands of classrooms, even around the globe. I mean, we have school districts in Canada. We now have a school district in South Africa. We have a few school districts on Australia. I mean, this is what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with reading, and we provide the best reading instruction on the market, in my opinion. But that's because it's created by a teacher that did it for 23 years. I just left the classroom 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I retired from teaching. That's it, 2 years ago. So this is created by me. I know how to get children to read. I know how to get results with children. So when I created Guided Readers, I took all of that trial and error and all of my years of experience and put them inside of Guided Readers, because I know what gets results. And that's what I'm sharing with you today, with you today. So if you are a parent at home and you are frustrated with having to teach your child all the things, let Guided Readers help you with your reading instruction. It's a monthly plan. It's super affordable. I mean, it's amazingly affordable. And you can cancel at any time. So if you keep your child reading throughout the year, through the summer, and then they start up in August and September back at school, trust me, you are going to be doing so many wonderful things for your child by keeping them reading. Do Guided Readers every day during the week, 5 days a week, a book a day, a Google activity, a Google lesson every day. You're going to see growth that you never thought possible. That I can assure you of. So I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to answer some questions right now. Let's see. I'm going to go back up. Tracy says, what are my main goals for my third grader that will be fourth in the fall? He's a good reader, but definitely want him to excel. Tracy, like I said, just constant reading. Now, in our higher levels of guided readers, we're not focusing too much on the sight words or those medial sounds like the sorted activities. We're working with multisyllabic words like I showed you in this one. So this was like a higher, this was like a higher level. Hold on, I just messed up my things. Okay, so here it is. So this activity, Tracy, is a make it and break it activity. So for the higher level books, like our students that are transitional readers that are, say, in 3rd grade and then going into 4th grade, those higher level books, all the way from, let's say, level N through level Q, that's where a typical 3rd grader is reading, a level N through a Q. These are the types of activities that they're going to be doing. Make it and break it is all about syllabication, because for a 3rd grader, right, they're working on higher level books that have tier 2 and tier 3 vocabulary words with them. And those are critical vocabulary words to the content that they're reading about. So it could be like, for example, with that book that I was showing you before, the spiders book, like abdomen or cephalothorax, you know, those big words that are tier 3 content specific vocabulary words. We work on doing syllabication activities with them with those words to make sure that when they come across words that are multisyllabic in a higher level book, they know how to attack them. That's the goal with those children that are in 3rd grade and 4th grade. We want them to understand how to attack words that they come across in their reading. So when they're reading those tier 2 and tier 3 vocabulary words, they know how to attack them. And that's what these typical activities are doing for our higher level readers that are either transitional or fluent, because our readers go all the way up to level Q. So I hope that helps, Tracy. Hey guys, hi everyone. Hey Elizabeth, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see. I think Chris says, I am now a monthly member with my kiddos, but how do we get the calendars? Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Let me go back to full screen. I created calendars for parents to help guide their instruction if they wanted more of a set plan of what they need to work on. So I created a calendar of 6 weeks of instruction for your child using guided readers for kindergarten. I did 2 calendars for 1st grade because the levels in 1st grade ranged, right? And then I did 2 for 2nd grade, same thing. And then I did 1 for 3rd grade. These calendars are inside of guided readers. So when you go into guided readers, let me show you where you can find it. I'm going to show you right now. So if you're inside of guided readers and you click, I think I'm in a student account. Okay, let me just get back to my parent account, because it's in my parent account. So once I log into guided readers and I click on a book, I'll show you where it is. So if you click on materials and you click this button right here, which is instructional tools for all books, that's where you're going to find these calendars, okay? That's where these calendars are, along with this trifold. This trifold provides you with directions, which are similar to the parent guides, and also text-dependent questions that you should ask your child if and when you're reading with them. Because many times when I was doing parent-teacher conferences with my parents at school when I was teaching, they would say, I don't know what to ask. I don't know the kinds of questions to ask. I don't know what to teach. So that's why I created this trifold. So that's where you find it on the site. You go to any book, and you'll click here where it says instructional tools for all books. So I wanted to make sure. That was such a great question. Thank you so much. I hope that helps, Chris. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure. One other thing I wanted to tell you, we have a super cool referral program. I just wanted to show you this really, really quickly. So as you can see here, if you click this link, everybody has a unique link. If you click this link and you use guided readers and you share it with some of your other friends that you know that are doing at-home reading right now, and you're loving guided readers, and you share your link and another person purchases guided readers, another parent, for their own children, we'll actually send you a $10 gift card. It's our way of saying thank you for your referral, because word of mouth is so important to us as business owners, you all know that, right? We have to make sure that people refer us, because if they love us, we want to give them an incentive. So if you refer other people to Guided Readers because you love it so much and they purchase a subscription, we're going to send you a $10 gift card to Amazon for as many people that join. So if you have 10 parents that join, you will get $10 Amazon gift cards. That I can assure you. We do this program with our teachers right now, and for teachers that refer other teachers, we also give them gift cards as well. So we wanted to make that available for the parent side also. So we really hope that this helps. And let me see if there's any questions that I didn't see right now. Let me see. Let me see if there's any questions I didn't answer. So Teresa says, I'm a teacher, but I teach math. I have a struggling second grade reader at home. Teresa, if that's the case, trust me, please check out Guided Readers, because it will help ensure that your child continues to progress in reading while they're home. And especially if reading is not something that you're super comfortable teaching. Listen, teaching reading is a very learned skill. I learned it over many, many years of trial and error. I taught for 23 years. I taught second grade for 23 years. And let me tell you something, they never taught us how to teach reading in college. And I know for a fact, because I hear it from so many new teachers that are coming into the field, that they have no idea where to start. And that's kind of how they enter my world. They're kind of looking for support, and they're looking for help on how to teach reading effectively, because it's not something they teach effectively in college, which is another whole story. But I definitely suggest, Teresa, checking out Guided Readers, because I truly believe it will be a game changer for your child. Keep them doing it every day of the week. Do a learning lab, a 15-minute learning lab. Have them read the story independently, have them listen to the story and listen to the oral recording of it, then record themselves reading it and listen back. And then maybe another 15-minute learning lab, have them do the Google Slide activities, the teacher-led directions that provide the directions for the child in the Google Slides. Again, these are the types of activities your child will be doing with their teacher. Trust me, this is what your teachers are doing for kindergarten through third graders. They're working on sight words. Third graders, by the time they get to third grade, they might not be focusing on sight words very much at that point. But if your child is a struggling learner, you can bet they're working on sight words as well with your child. So definitely check out Guided Readers, Teresa. I hope that helps. And I'm here to support you any way that I can. So don't hesitate to ask any questions. So I am actually going to ask, oh, good. I'm so happy, Teresa, that you're interested. Really reach out to me. And also, I have a private Facebook group called Guided Readers, where I answer questions for teachers and parents that are struggling with reading or anything, really. I'm here to try and help parents as much as I possibly can, because right now, teachers are at home. They're not in school. So right now, I'm kind of switching gears a little bit, and I'm trying to help support parents at home with this new at-home learning situation that we all find ourselves in. So that's kind of what we're doing, what I'm doing right now, and I'm trying to help out as much as I can with parents that are home and teaching their own children. Let Guided Readers do it for you. Let us help you. And all you have to do is, once you get your child onto the site, and once you teach them how to do it, once or twice, that's it. You're done. Then they can go on by themselves every single day. They read a book. They listen to a book. They record a book. They could take a quiz, and then they can do the teacher-led activities in the Google Slides. It doesn't get much better than that, because that's the kind of reading instruction they would be getting. Yes, it would be a little bit different, of course. I mean, really, teachers are incredible human beings that really work magic when it comes to children. Teachers are my thing. I love teachers, and they do incredible things in their classroom. But at this point, if they can't be with their teachers because of the situation we're in, then have them doing the work teachers create. Have them practicing their reading, their sight words, doing their phonics activities, responding to stories. These are the skills that will progress them. These skills. Science, social studies, very important. But right now, in this situation, reading, sight words, phonics, reading, comprehension, and writing in response to their reading is of the utmost importance. In addition, yes, Math skills are important. They need to keep up those basic skills of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, measurement, time. Those are the types of math activities they should be doing home. Problem solving, solving word problems. Those are the types of math activities they should be doing. But to be completely honest, if I were in this situation and I was still in the classroom and I was put out at this with this learning, distance learning environment, the primary thing my children, my students would do every single day is reading and a math activity. Every day. Every day they would be reading a book. Every day they would be responding to a book. Every day they would be doing some type of phonics or sight word activity. Every single day. Because reading is of paramount importance when it comes to your child's progress in school and their success in school. Without reading, everything else doesn't matter. Without the ability to read and to read critically and be able to be a contextual reader, without those skills, nothing else matters. They won't be able to read the directions on the math sheet. They won't be able to read a book on landforms and bodies of water. They won't be able to do a science experiment without reading. That's why it comes back to that every single solitary time. All right. So let me answer this question. Carmen says, hi, I'm a kindergarten teacher. Do the books come printed and assembled, or is everything digital only? So Carmen, we have two different sites. We have a teacher site and we have a parent site now. We wanted to make sure that our parent site was easy for parents to use, navigate, and for their children, ease of use for their children to use and navigate independently. That was our goal with the parent site, which I think we achieved. For our teacher site, you also have the ability to print out the books when you're back at school, if you go back to school. So depending on what plan you purchase, you can print them out on the teacher site. So there's two different sites. So for you, Carmen, just go to guidedreaders.com. You're a teacher, so you would need the teacher account. You wouldn't need the parent account. So I hope that helps. So let's see. Teresa says, as a 5th grade math teacher, I agree with you 100%. Without reading, they cannot do math. Right, Teresa? Exactly. And I'm not saying math is not important. Math is so important. I mean, math is in every part of our day. But that's true. Without reading, they can't do the math. You know, they can't read the word problems. They can't problem solve without reading. So I know that teachers are going crazy right now trying to send home packets and work and different activities. But when it comes down to it, reading is the most important thing every child should be doing every single day. If your child reads a book every single day and does some type of learning activity with that book, I can promise you, they're not going to be struggling readers when they get back to school. Whether or not you use my program or not, let's say you don't even use guided readers, but you have your child read a book every single day, that is going to help them ensure that they don't fall behind the curve. Guided readers just adds that extra level of teacher instruction that your children might be lacking at this point, or that you just don't feel confident in what you're doing at home with them to say, am I really doing the right thing? Because I know I worked with parents for years and years and years and years, and they would come into parent teacher conferences and I'd say, okay, do this or work on this. And they're like, but I don't know how. Like, what should I do? What are the kinds of questions should I ask? What books should they read? If you're not a trained teacher, you wouldn't know that. If you're an accountant, you would be able to tell you, I couldn't do what you do. I still can't do that, but that's beside the point. But we're all trained to do the job that we do. Parents are not trained to be teachers. And now they're thrown into these throes of homeschool. And they're like, here you go, figure it out. Clearly, there's no other alternative right now. We have to be home. So we need to do the best we can. And I can promise you, parents at home, if you read every day and you have your child read every single day and do some type of math sheet or a math skill or a math app or something, trust me, that's all they need. Trust me, that's what they need. Reading, sight words. Again, we're dealing with K3 here. Reading, comprehension, sight words, phonics, and writing in response to the reading, and then some type of a math activity to keep the skills sharp. addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, problem solving, telling time. All important skills that your children need. If you could focus on those things, your child will be golden when they go back to school in September. That I can promise you. So I hope that helps. I'm going to hop off in just a couple of minutes, but if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about anything at all, anything about homeschooling your child, or if you're confused about something or you're not sure, let me know. Put a question in the comments. Happy to answer any questions that you have. I don't see anything coming in, but if you do have a question, comment and I will absolutely answer the question for you. And just one other thought I just wanted to mention to you. Many parents say, well, I don't know what level my child's reading at, because typically teachers don't say your child's reading on a level blank or they're reading at this level. Typically, they don't say that to parents, but a typical kindergartner is reading levels A through D. They're called Fountas, and it's called Fountas and Pinnell. It's called Fountas and Pinnell levels. So they're reading typically A through D. And a first grader is typically reading D through about an HI. A second grader is reading typically between an HI through about an M. And a third grader is typically reading from an M or N through like a Q. That's typically the levels that your children will be reading at if they're an average child at that level. Now, of course, if you have a first grade child and they're above grade level in reading, you want to ensure that you give them the books that they need to work on at that level. You don't want to give them we don't want the books to be too challenging. Again, we want those experiences in reading and those skills scaffolded, one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. We want those skills scaffolded. So we don't want to start them super high. We want to start them at an independent level and work your way up. Work your way up, because skills and strategies are scaffolded. Everything is scaffolded. What your child is doing in school is scaffolded. So if your child is first grader and they're reading on a typical first grade reading level, don't give them a level N book. We want to work them up to that level and scaffold the skills and strategies. So I hope that helps. I'm so sorry, Teresa, that you didn't know about it. Yes, definitely sign up. Definitely watch the replay, and you could ask me any questions you have later on if you want to post any questions. So, I'm going to destroy your name, Bhakta. I'm so sorry. Have you got an idea of Oxford levels here in the UK? To be honest, I don't understand or know anything about the UK levels. I'm so sorry. There must be some type of reading leveling company or reading levels that they use in the UK, but I'm not familiar with them. So I'm so sorry. I had to have my daughter sign up for me. Can that account be switched to my account? You know what, Love for All? Just send us an email at anna@guidedreaders.com and we'll be happy to help you with that. anna@guidedreaders.com, and we'll be happy to help you with that. I think that's it. So that's it from me today. Again, parents, I'm with you. I feel your pain. Let us help you at Guided Readers ensure that your child progresses in reading while they're home over the next 6 months. Because from my last, I think from what I heard, it's now 29 states that have closed for the rest of the school year. I don't know if my numbers are right. I haven't watched the updates yet today. So listen, the most important thing you need to know is if that in those summer months, those 2 months that your child is home for the summer and they don't read, they regress 6 months in reading. Yes, 6 months. So with 2 months of no reading, that's 6 months of reading regression. So could you imagine of 6 months of no reading and no reading instruction? That will probably be closer to a year regression in reading, and we don't want that. So check out Guided Readers. I'm here for you. We're here for you. We're ready to support you with your at-home learning needs. We're here to answer any questions that you have. Happy to help you in any way we possibly can make this at-home learning situation a little bit more bearable for you as parents. So thank you so much for watching today. I so appreciate it. thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And thank you for working with your child at home, because we all know that they need to be worked with at home. So please stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. Love to all. Thank you again for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. And again, stay safe and healthy. Bye for now, everybody. Check out parents.guidedreaders.com. Bye.